Hello everyone, my name is Himesh Vinayak Rathod. I would like to explain what is vulnerability. So let's start with the basics. What do you mean by it? Simply put, vulnerability is about being open, honest, and willing to show parts of yourself that might feel a little raw or uncomfortable. It's about letting go of the mask we put on every day to protect ourselves and showing the real, authentic version of who we are. It could be a sharing of your emotions, admitting a mistake, or even talking about something you're afraid of. In a world that often values strength and control, vulnerability can feel risky. But here's the thing, it's actually a key ingredient for personal growth and happiness. There's a common misconception about that. Being vulnerable is a sign of weakness. And I get it. Society often tells us to toughen up, keep it together, and never show weaknesses. But what if I told you that vulnerability is actually one of the greatest acts of courage? That's right. It's not about being weak, it's about being brave enough to face your fears. Share your true self and trust others with your heart. Think about it for a second. Have you ever felt truly connected to someone because they were open and honest with you? Or maybe you felt that spark of connection when you shared something deeply personal with someone and they responded with understanding. That's the power of vulnerability. It's not a liability, it's an opportunity to build real, meaningful relationships. Okay, so now let's talk about how embracing vulnerability actually leads to positivity in our lives. First of all, being vulnerable helps us build emotional resilience. It might sound counterintuitive, counterintuitive, but allowing ourselves to feel, whether it's joy, sadness, fear, or excitement, we actually become more equipped to handle life's challenges. When the bottle when we bottle everything up and avoid vulnerability, it creates pressure inside. But when we express ourselves honestly, we release that pressure and we make space for healing and growth. Second, vulnerability leads to stronger and authentic relationships. Think about the people you feel closest. Chances are you have connected because you have shared something real. When we open up, we invite others to do the same, and that mutual exchange creates trust, compassion, and understanding. Another huge benefit of vulnerability is how it helps us to accept ourselves. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we stop pretending to be something we are not. And in doing so, we start to accept all parts of ourselves, our flaws, our imperfections, our humanity. Self acceptance is a key part of happiness. The more we embrace our own vulnerability, the more we realize that we are worthy of love and respect, exactly as we are. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, that sounds great, but how I do start embracing vulnerability in my own life? Well, here are few practical tips that can help. Practice self compassion. Be kind to yourself when you are vulnerable. It's okay to feel uncomfortable or scared, but remind yourself that it's a courageous step towards growth. Challenge negative thoughts. If you start feeling like vulnerability makes you weak, challenge that thought. Remind yourself that opening up is a sign of strength and not weakness.